So, good afternoon all. So we'll continue with the same topic that we have discussed in the last class. That is about the nanotechnology based formulation. So in the last class we have discussed the introductory about the nanosciences and nanotechnology. So what is nanoscience and what is nanotechnology we have already discussed in the last class. So basically nanoscience deals with the study of nanomaterials. That is under this we will be studying the methods, various methods which are used just to characterize nanomaterials. And whereas nanotechnology is the science through which we used to fabricate, we design, we manufacture, we produce the nanomaterials. Okay, so all the techniques, all the technology, whatever is mainly involved with the formulation, production of the nanomaterials, they come under the nanotechnology. So we have already discussed about the nanomaterials, like what is the nanoscale. Then we have discussed, we have compared different things depending upon the size. Okay, so we have already discussed about briefly about the classification also. So based on the size, like all the matters, they exist in 3 dimensions, and depending upon the dimension, that is the nanomaterials, they can be either 0 dimension, 1 dimension, 2 dimension, or 3 dimensional structures or things. So at least if one of the dimension, if it is in nano size, we can say that that material is nano material. Okay, so so we have discussed few of the examples. Okay, so in the last class we were discussing about mainly the applications. Okay, so few of the application we have already discussed in the last class, and we'll again discuss the other applications. So as we have discussed in the last turn, nano technology is used for surface or surface coating to get this self-clean surface or easy to clean surfaces. Then this nanotechnology is used in textile industry just to produce water repellent clothes, then stain proofed clothes, wrinkle proof clothes. Okay, then nanotechnology is also used for preparing say antibacterial clothes or a fabric, like we can incorporate silver nanoparticles in the fibers, which will give us a antibacterial textile or clothes. Okay, so basically in the hospitals we need such type of things. Then comes a barrier textile. So barrier textile is fabricated in such a way that any material cannot reach to either side. So there's a fluid resistant cloth is a barrier textile. So actually it contains hydrophobic fibers. So the surgical gowns, they are made from this type of cloth, that is barrier textile. Next is in the food industries or food sector, nanotechnology is used for various purposes like food processing, then packaging, then detect the foodborne this in pathogens, for packaging, basically to prevent the contamination. Packaging material is of such a material that it will not cause contamination to the food. Then for the smart delivery of nutraceuticals, that is there are so many nutraceuticals which are not being absorbed properly from the intestine. So through the nanotechnology, what we can do, we can just increase the bioavailability and we can improve the absorption of nutraceuticals. So in the food industries, these nutraceuticals they are usually administered through the nanotechnology. So these are the applications. Next, taste can be improved, texture can be improved of the food material. Okay. Then antimicrobial agents can be added through the nanoparticles in the food preparations. Next comes the agriculture field. So there are various applications of nanotechnology in the agriculture field, like agrochemicals like fertilizers, pesticides. All these they improves the quality of crop. Then plant disease can be diagnosed and even treated. So these are the various applications in the agriculture field. Next comes the application of nanotechnology in the environment protection. So in the field of this, usually nano fibers, nano formulations, they are used for water treatment plant, just to treat water, for the filtration of water. So we can say for the environment purpose, this nanotechnology can be used in 3 ways. That is purification of liquid or a liquid phase, purification of gaseous phase, purification of solid, or for the solid phase treatment. Okay. So if we talk about liquid phase, like water, so water treatment plant, water purification system, sometimes we want to remove the waste from the water, like in the industrial waste, whatever the industrial waste come from through water, it can be cleaned by this nanotechnology. So basically for this we use magnetic nanoparticles. Magnetic nanoparticles, they can remove metallic impurities from the water. Okay. So like arsenic, if you want to remove arsenic from the groundwater, then also nano formulation or nanoparticles they are being used. Nano filtration process is used. Sorry. Okay. So these are the application for the environment protection. Again, the silver nanoparticles, they can be used for the antibacterial activity. Then FeO nanoparticles, they are more effective in cleaning the industrial waste as compared to the iron powder. So several studies are there, several examples are there, which proves that nanomaterials, they are much more effective as compared to the normal material. So few more different fields they are being mentioned in the slide. You can see, like enhancing the pollution preventive methods, and the eco-friendly efficient energy resources we can use. Okay, so these are various applications in the environment protection. Next comes the application of nanotechnology in the information technology and communication field. So you can see the microchip basically is used in the computers, then nano RAM, which result in the improvement in the memory of the computer, and there are so many other applications also. Next, application of nanotechnology in the cosmetic field. So actually this is the field related to the pharmacy field only. So there are various applications of nanotechnology for cosmetic purpose. Various formulations, they are being prepared for the cosmetic purpose, like your gels, creams. So now sometimes if we want to administer few of the active compounds across the skin, we can use various carriers, like the carriers mentioned in this particular slide. Nano carriers are there, like niosomes, liposomes, polymerasomes, all these solid lipid nanoparticles, that we will again discuss in the further slide also. So all these nano carriers will help us to deliver this thing across the skin. Basically all the cosmetic preparations, they are external preparations, they are being applied over the skin, and sometimes we need to administer a few active principles, basically from the plant origin. For these carriers, they are used just to transport the drug from the preparation to the across the skin. So like nanoparticles, if we are using nano carriers, there are several advantages, like in sunscreen preparation, normally the microparticles are being used, like titanium dioxide, TiO. TiO, generally they are used for as a sunscreen. Okay, if we replace the normal particles with the nanoparticles, what happens? Your sunscreen, it becomes transparent. Okay, so actually the normal sunscreen, they are opaque in nature. Whenever we apply, we can see from the outside the appearance of that. Why? Because they are bigger in size. Particles are bigger in size, and because of that. So nano preparation will help us in producing the transparency. Okay, then nanoparticles, they provide a better UV protection. Sometimes deep skin penetration are required for few of the active principles. Okay, then these preparation, the nano formulation will give you a more long lasting effect. Okay, so these are the advantages. So in this slide I have shown like titanium dioxide, zinc oxide. If the micronized particles, they give opaque sunscreen, whereas nanoparticles, they give us a transparent sunscreen. Next, the nanomedicine field. So whenever we are using the nanomaterials for the purpose of treating or diagnosing purpose, we call it as a nanomedicine. So nanomedicine is a medical application of nanotechnology. Okay, so like nano electronic biosensors, nano carriers, nano engineered materials, they are used for various clinical application, for the drug delivery, for the diagnosis purpose, for theranostic purpose. So in this you can see three different applications are being mentioned. The first one is for drug delivery, that is just to administer a drug. So like if we want to administer a drug through nanotechnology, there are several advantages, like because of the small size, the accessibility of the carrier to the particular target is easier. We all know that whenever we administer a drug into the body through various routes, there are various barrier layer that the drug has to cross before reaching the target organ or tissue. Okay, so normally the drug actually depends on the physiochemical property of drug, but sometimes there are various challenges, like few drugs they are unstable, few drugs they are poorly soluble. Okay, there are so many challenges associated with the route of administration, like orally we cannot administer few specific type of drugs, like proteins and peptides we cannot administer through oral route. Why? Because there are so many digestive enzymes, they are present throughout the GIT tract. So actually just to overcome these challenges, we are using different type of formulations, but here also nanotechnology can help in resolving all these issues, like they can protect the drug from the challenges, like barriers, enzymes, so many things. Okay, so they provide protection. Then the drug is actually these nano nanomedicines, either the drug itself can be given in the nano size, that is like in the nano suspension form, or it can be delivered through a nano carrier. Both the things are possible. Like when we are talking about nanotechnology in the drug delivery, so both things they are possible. Like what we can do is we can administer drug in the nanonized form or nanoparticles or nano suspension form, or what we can do, we can encapsulate or we can load the drug in the nano carriers. Both the things are possible. So ultimate aim is to improve the accessibility of drug, so that it can easily reach to the particular target. Okay, so this is the main purpose of using nano medicines. Okay, next is imaging. So if we want to detect the particular basically for the cancer detection, this particular thing is used. Nanoparticles, they are being used as a contrasting agent. Okay, so we will be discussing them in the next slide. And theragnostic means when we are using a same nano carrier for two purposes. The first one is for therapeutic purpose and the second one is a diagnostic. So theragnostic word is being derived from, or it is a prefixes from therapeutic, as well as gnostic means diagnosis. So basically when we are using a same nano carrier for two purposes, that is therapeutic purpose as well as diagnostic purpose, we call them as a theragnostic application of nano carriers or nano medicines. Okay, so first one we will discuss about the biomedical imaging. So as we all know that early stage detection of tumor or a cancer is very crucial for the basically for the treatment. If the cancer is detected earlier, it can be treated, and so there are various methods which are being used for biomedical imaging, like your CT, MRI, then ultrasound, PET, X-ray, all these. So all these techniques, they requires a contrasting agent. What is contrasting agent? Contrasting agent, usually they have a substance that enhance the radio density to the particular target tissue. So this helps in detecting normal and your abnormal tissue. So here when we are talking about the application of nanoparticles for bioimaging, nanoparticles, the advantage of nanoparticle is like because of the very small size, they can be reached to the particular area. So you can see in this slide the EPR. EPR stands for enhanced permeation and retention. So do you know what is EPR? Actually, what happens, like at the tumor site, we all know that blood supply is blood supply to the tissue is through capillary, okay, or veins. So at the cancer site or the tumor site, usually the vasculature is leaky. This is the characteristic of cancer tissue, that is they have leaky vasculature. Leaky vasculature means the wall of capillaries, they are having some leakage. So the nanoparticles, they can reach easily to the tumor site. Okay, so because of this particular thing, or we can say this is one of the we can say physiological characteristic of tumor site. So we use this for the particular targeting of nanoparticles. nanoparticles, they reach to the easily reach to the tumor site, and because of this we can use this for the bioimaging purpose. Okay, तो bioimaging के लिए हम ये use करते हैं nanoparticles. Okay, for cancer detection. Okay, so cancer detection में हम nanoparticles को use करते हैं. Next is other applications are like nano biosensors. They are used for cancer treatment. Now, why they are used? We all know the advantages of nanomaterials, like they prevent the side effects. There is one more problem in case of cancer, like you must have heard about the chemotherapy. Okay, so chemotherapy, basically it is a conventional approach. So whenever the patient is on conventional therapy, that is chemotherapy, both normal as well as cancer cells, they receive the cancer anti-cancerous drug. So the nature of anti-cancerous drug is to kill the cell. Okay, so because of this, the main side effect of chemotherapy is both normal as well as cancerous cell, both are being killed by this therapy. So just to overcome this, what we are going for, we usually, the modern approach, or we can say the new approach is to treat the cancer through the targeted drug delivery system. Now targeted drug delivery systems, what is the advantage? They will only treat the cancer cells, and normal cell will remain healthy. They will not be affected by the anti-neoplastic drug. Okay, so this is one of the advantage, that is we can replace the type of therapy, chemotherapy. Instead of going for chemotherapy, what we can do is the same kind of drug can be given through nanoparticle and through targeted drug delivery system. So this is one of the reason why we use. Second thing is, in this way we can reduce the side effects. Okay, the second problem associated with the cancer therapy is the multiple drug resistance. Whenever the drug is given, chemotherapy is done, there is a multiple drug resistance because of this glycoprotein, P-glycoprotein, which is present on the cell membrane. Okay, so now through nanotechnology, this problem can be overcome. That is, multiple drug resistance will not be there. Drugs can be given easily through the nanoparticles. So this is another advantage of nanotechnology for the cancer treatment. Okay, then a few of the organs, they are very difficult to target, like brain. The brain targeting is the most complicated, we can say. So for that also nanotechnology is very useful. Why? Because the blood-brain barrier, for the brain targeting we have to cross the blood-brain barrier. Because of small size, they can be easily targeted to the brain also. Okay, so next we will discuss about the various potentials of nanotechnology. So nano materials, they provide superior mechanical performance. They provide the surface functionalization is possible. For surface functionalization means we can manipulate the surface of the material. Okay, and we can attach the functional directing body. What a directing body? Ligands. We can attach the ligands, or we can attach the targeting moiety to the surface of these. Why? Because they are surface modification of these nanoparticles can be done easily. Okay. Next is the large surface area. So large surface area provides the more chances for the loading, improve the loading of the drug. Okay. Then tunable porosity. We can alter the porosity. It is tunable. Okay. Then tissue engineered scaffolds can be prepared. Now scaffolds basically they are used for this various purposes. It can be used for tissue engineering, sometimes for nanofibers, nano dressings. They are used for various purposes, like for wound healing purpose, scaffolds can be used. Okay. So there are various applications of nanomaterials. Okay. Next is, in this slide I have shown colloidal carriers and your cellular carriers. Okay. So these are all are not nano carriers. I have just first shown the carriers, and now in this cellular carrier what you can see is resealed erythrocytes, which are cellular carriers. Okay, those are from last many decades. These RBCs are being used for delivering a drug. Why? Basically they are very they are endogenous in nature. First, the advantage of RBCs is they are endogenous. Okay. So in a similar way, now why I have shown these RBCs in this particular slide is, actually their RBCs are not the nano carriers, but why I have shown is just to show the potential of the things which are which are nano carriers, endogenous nano carriers. In this slide what you can see is I have shown extracellular vesicles. Now what are extracellular vesicles? Do you know? Actually what happens, our cells, they continuously they shred few vesicles. So extracellular vesicles, they are one of them. Exosomes, they are one of them. Okay. So actually in our body the transduction of signals from one cell to the other cell is taken place through these vesicles, cellular vesicles we can say. Means this is a normal process which take place in our body. Like what particular thing has to be done, it is communicated from one cell to the other cell through the vesicles. Few vesicles, they are being shredded by the cells. Okay. So that what I want to explain you. Like in this slide what you can see is, there are cellular carriers, like RBC is one of the cellular carrier, but RBC itself is not a nano carrier. But I have shown you what is the potential of RBC. RBC is endogenous in nature, so this is one of the advantage. It is biocompatible. Okay, biodegradable. So in a similar way, nowadays all the scenario is moving towards the endogenous material. Just a minute.
पॉज कर दूं?
So extracellular vesicles, then exosomes, all these, they are the vesicles which are being shredded by the cell. Especially eukaryotic cells, they shred this type of vesicles, and these vesicles, they can be used for the drug delivery purpose. Okay, so the size of these vesicles, they are near in the nano range. Okay, so in the coming future, these exosomes, then extracellular vesicles, they will be used as a drug carrier. Okay. Okay, why? Because we can use the stem cell and we can use the stem cell, we can grow the stem cell in the laboratory, and then we can load the drug in that stem cell, and then we can get the drug loaded such type of extracellular vesicles and exosomes for the drug delivery purpose. So what will be the advantage? Advantage will be they are endogenous in nature, they are biodegradable, biocompatible, all these are the advantage. Okay, in the same slide you can see the different other type of nano preparations like nanoparticles, polymeric nanoparticles, inorganic nanoparticles, solid lipid nanoparticles, liposomes, dendrimers, nanotubes and nanocrystals. Now other carriers are like supramolecular drug delivery systems. Basically supramolecular drug delivery systems, they are being prepared by assembling this like hydrophilic and hydrophobic block material. Okay, so micelles, polymeric micelles, your reverse micelles, all these they are the example of supramolecular drug delivery systems. Then next is carbon nanotubes. You can see single walled and multi wall carbon nanotubes, they can be used for drug delivery purpose. Then liposomes. And next is gold nanoparticles, quantum dots, mesoporous silica nanoparticles and magnetic nanoparticles. All these they are the example of nano carriers. Okay. Now silica nanoparticles, you can see silica nanoparticles, they can be core shell and even mesoporous in nature. Mesoporous means the shell they are having pores and the drug can be loaded on the core shell region. Okay. So these are the advantages of nanomaterials. Reduce the adverse effect. Biodegradable, biocompatible polymers, they will help in drug delivery, all that already we have discussed. Next will come upon the synthesis of nanomaterials. Okay, so basically nanomaterials, they are usually synthesized by two ways. The first one is bottom up approach and second one is top down approach. So in the diagram you can see top down means whenever we are reducing the size from the bulk, when we are going towards the nanoparticle, that is top down method. And when from the say atoms, when we work upon atoms, we convert them into nanoparticles, then this particular thing is bottom up method. Okay, this is another slide showing the synthesis of nanoparticle. Okay, so there are also some risks associated with the nanomaterials. Like what are the risks? Actually these nanoparticles, they are not very visible, and because of size our skin, they can easily grow through the skin. So sometimes the hazards, they can be hazardous also. Okay, so very difficult to detect without sophisticated equipments. We need some sophisticated instrument just to detect them. Okay, difficult to predict how particles will behave in the environment. Even we are studying about this nanotechnology. You must have seen a lot of papers based on the nanotechnology, nanoparticles and all that. Still the fate of nano materials is even, it is not very clear what will be the fate after administering into the body. Even there is a lot of risk involved in this particular way. Then we'll see what are the basic instruments used for observing them. So we all know that electron microscopes like SEM and TEM, these are the two main techniques through which we can observe the nanomaterials. Okay. Beside this, a few other are there like atomic force microscope, AFM, then scanning tunnel microscope. All these they are the. I have not discussed them in very much detail. Only a brief idea I have given. So, can you please stop?